A new year, a new decade, and a new chance for resolutions, especially when it comes to your money. Chief Business Correspondent Christine Romans is here with a look of how to get your finances in shape for 2020.
Can we first play a little game of woulda, coulda, shoulda? Because turns on some of those stocks.
And were you counseling us a year ago to stuff all our money in
I
this?
will be honest, 10 years ago, it was really ugly, right? The housing market was blowing up, people were losing their jobs, factories were closing, but if you had made those investments at the time, just shows you like the power of the American economy and the American investments.
Well, since you didn't tell us 10 years ago, tell us now.
Okay.
Where are we going?
So that's where we've been, out of your control though.
Okay, but what are the top financial resolutions that most people make?
Yeah, so the things that you can control, concerning for people and voters.
I normally have a bracelet, but I'm not wearing
Me
it
too.
today. It says,
WWRD.
yeah, what would Romans do? So as I look to 2020, what would Romans do?
You know, if you are overwhelmed about making a financial resolution right now, fine. Wait till your birthday and then do it then. But make sure that you have a time when you can really sit down and get a gut check on your finances. My advice, safe to check your 401k, do it. Rebalance it right now to make sure it's right for your age and your risk tolerance. I mean, if you're really close to retirement, it should not all be in stocks. Sock away money into 529 college savings plans. You guys have heard me say this. And ask your parents and your kids' grandparents to do it too. Stuff does not get you through college or get you to retirement. Savings gets you through college into retirement. I also tell everybody, you have to have 6 months expenses saved for an emergency. Live below your means. Live below your means. That is the easiest, most important thing to do, and then you invest the rest. There is nothing wrong with a nice, boring S&P 500 index fund.
You live on the edge. Romans lives
But it
on
has
the
been
edge.
boring, 245% return in just
That's
a
good.
standard,
That's good.
boring, plain vanilla S&P 500 index fund.
Happy New Year, Christine Romans.
Happy New Year, you guys.
You too. That's some 2020 vision for you that she's got. Thank you
like that.
very much,
You're welcome.
Christine.
So late night TV was laser focused this year on politics and impeachment. We'll take being threatened that you really should try to visit. CNN's chief climate correspondent Bill Weir laid out his top
Good, my friends. Yes, the caveat is that these places are not going to disappear. In the
the pictures we've seen coming out of Venice just the last couple of months. Just
at the locals, because that's been a huge bane to their existence.
Well, I mean, therein lies the problem, which is it's heartbreaking to see that square. I went there for my honeymoon. That's just one of the most romantic, beautiful places in the world. But aren't tourists part of the problem? Are they being overrun?
Absolutely, absolutely, and especially when it's
can't
incredible.
believe it, because you can't fight. You can't fight the ocean like that. There's really nothing you can do to push it back.
Exactly.
All right, the Butterfly Center.
Yes, yeah. So this is a little 100-acre sanctuary.
We also count the monarch butterflies as they're migrating in the fall. Yeah,
that seems harder.
Yeah,
to count.
They're actually closer to you than the birds are. So in some cases, you see them more clearly. But you want to count these things to find out what is changing. And one of the things we find is that sometimes
there are lots changing.
And the problem is as the climate warms, their migration starts.
That you can, Alaska.
Yeah, so I picked sort of Alaska in general because
she's a young woman who's made just a tremendous impact on the world. 2019 Time Person of the Year, Greta Thunberg.
One of the most famous people in the world, purely because she's sort of without guile, just speaking the truth, just putting into a...
Change the world. If our generation can't or won't do it, get out of the way so they will.
If it's not too late for them to fix it.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, it's every year that goes by, if you look back at the last decade, even under the Obama administration, so much time was...
Well, it's always great to talk to you and somewhat alarming.
and deeply depressing.
Deeply depressing.
Happy New Year.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you
Great
guys.
to see you too. And thanks so much to our international viewers for watching. Happy New Year. For you, CNN Newsroom is next. For our U.S. viewers, a special holiday edition of New Day continues after this.
It's like the devil went down to Georgia.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. That's awesome. So 2019 was a year of political drama, big political drama. There was the impeachment inquiry and the beginning of the 2020 presidential race. CNN politics reporter in politics.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You bring your fiddle? Because that's apparently what the segment's all about.
That devil could play the fiddle. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I like that. Last year, 2019, suggested he's either in first or second in Iowa and New Hampshire, the first two states to vote. And of 2018, trying to clear it all up, Donald Trump kept attacking her. And it kind of looked like what we...
Is a strange one.
Yeah, so I didn't... Of other people that Russia is likely to continue their interference efforts in the 2020 campaign. The reason I said Russia this time, for 2019, there is no doubt that what they did in 2016 is less likely to be ready for what every person who knows tells us is going to be maybe a bigger attempted incursion.
Who had a bad 2019,
Okay,
according to you?
Now, most people, even though they won't admit it, Schadenfreude, they like Anthony Carbonetti, a longtime friend of his, was quoted recently saying, this guy is fundamentally unrecognizable from where I knew. Seen as one of the three frontrunners, you know.
Happy New Year.
I'll see you in 2020. Wait, it is 2020.
Yeah.
We're there now.
All right. The new year, speaking of which, brings new hope for getting your
Star Wars.